on CTV News at 5.
This is our very first Christmas dinner in Dartmouth. We've only been open here for just under 2 months.
Charity check-in, how they're supporting the community this season.
You take the Gnome here, and it all kind of blew up.
Gnome on the roam. He's showing up where you least expect him.
Math team are squares, but they always bring the pot.
It's a good way to bring staff together and to spread some holiday spirit.
Wrapping up some Christmas cheer. It's a local twist on a holiday classic.
Butter, shortening, icing sugar, vanilla, cornstarch, and half a cherry on top.
Stars shortbreads, a decades-old tradition still making an impact.
It's a very cold night ahead for the Maritimes. A few areas of flurries for both tonight and tomorrow.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Hey, great to see you. Welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Katie Kelly in for Maria Panapallis. Thank you so much for joining us. First at 5 tonight, holiday helping. It's one of the busiest times of the year for local charities, and today many of them are working overtime. CTV's Ryan McDonald is checking in with organizations to see how they're supporting the community on this holiday season. Ryan.
Well, Katie, more than 1,200 free Christmas dinners were handed out today at the 9 Souls Harbor locations across Nova Scotia. Today, we visit a few of them, including one of their very newest drop-in centers here in Cape Breton. It was a full house today for the first ever Christmas dinner at the Souls Harbor Drop-In Center in New Waterford.
It was really beautiful, delicious as always.
A turkey dinner with all the trimmings was handed out to everyone who came through the door, and plenty of people have since this place first opened back in May.
We've seen up to 120 people through our doors within a day, so I suspect today is going to be very similar.
Yeah, certainly. This is our very first Christmas dinner in Dartmouth. We've only been open here for just under 2 months.
It was a similar story here, where the brand new Souls Harbor location in Dartmouth also served up an example of how much the not-for-profit has grown since its first holiday season 15 years ago.
So we started in 2010, and our Christmas dinner would have looked very, very different at that time. I mean, just a handful of people. But today and through the rest of the Christmas season, we'll serve over 1,000 Christmas meals.
And it was to provide a place for people to go on Christmas Day. It was started by a doctor and his wife, who were newcomers to the area.
That's how the annual Amherst Community Christmas Dinner got started years back. Now, organizers say roughly 600 pounds of turkey is provided, and the venue is donated too, to be able to feed more than 500 people, both here and by takeout and delivery on Christmas Day.
Trying to encourage people that either don't have family or their family's away, people that can't make meals themselves. It's not about affordability, but certainly there are people that have that challenge.
People think of us as a place of need for food, and we certainly do that, but we are here for those who are lonely or that are alone.
Back in New Waterford, that idea of combating loneliness as well as hunger during the holidays was also top of mind today. That's why people didn't have to leave without having a little something to take with them.
It brings a smile to people's face. You know, sometimes people are struggling with different things during the year, and just giving them a little gift, showing them that they can connect with somebody, that they're seen, that they're cared for, just lifts their spirits and gives them a bit of Christmas cheer.
And Katie, while more than 1,000 free Christmas dinners were handed out today at Souls Harbor locations, tomorrow a different Christmas dinner will be put on just down the road from here. It's at Lobes and Fishes in Sydney, and I have a bit of a personal connection to it too. It was initially sponsored back in the day by my late grandparents, Winnie and Lloyd McDonald, and now the annual dinner is put on in their memory. Katie.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Ryan. CTV's Ryan McDonald for us on Member 2 First Nation this evening. We're going to hand things over to Callum Smith now, who has a preview of what's to come here on CTV News at 6. Hey, Callum.
That's right, Katie. Thanks so much. Nova Scotia Power is defending its response to that massive cyber attack earlier this year. In a redacted incident report to the Nova Scotia Energy Board, the utility says its actions were effective and executed in a very timely and highly coordinated manner. We'll have more on that story tonight at 6. Well, the stores are busy today as Maritimers try and purchase their last-minute gifts, and new data from Visa Canada has found that holiday spending has actually increased this year. It was up by about 4%. We'll look over the numbers this evening. And the world's longest covered bridge in Heartland, New Brunswick will be undergoing a big makeover in the new year. It will mean the bridge will be closed to vehicles beginning January 5th. Crews need to repair the bridge's pedestrian span, which will require scaffolding. We'll tell you more about that coming up in about an hour's time. Right now, though, let's check in with CTV meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell. Kaylin.
Yeah, thank you, Callum. So the wind may be down today compared to yesterday, but it is still very cold across the region. If you're stepping outside this evening, you're stepping out to temperatures that are mostly well down into the minus single digits and in some cases the minus teens. In New Brunswick right now, most of the temperatures in the range of around -9 to -14, around -10. Much of Prince Edward Island, including Summerside and Charlottetown, and temperatures in Nova Scotia right now between -5 and -10, colder up towards Amherst at the moment. Here's what it feels like with the breeze that we do have around the region, and it is making it feel down into the minus teens across most of Nova Scotia, pretty close to -17, -18 at this hour for Prince Edward Island. In the northern areas of New Brunswick, we already have some wind chills flirting with making it feel like -20. And winds right now are out of the northwest. They're being sustained between around 5 and 20 kilometers per hour. We are getting a few areas reporting some gusts up between 30 and 40, mostly around Prince Edward Island and in Cape Breton, where there's still some bands of flurries and snow squalls streaming in off the Gulf of St. Lawrence in that northwest wind. You can see some of those streaks or bands of snow showing up across parts of the island. And there is still a snow squall warning and watch in place for parts of Cape Breton. Now, in the snow squall warning, it's for Inverness and Victoria counties. There may be some overall totals up in the higher terrain of around 30 centimeters of snow before these squalls completely come to an end. That's expected to happen later tonight. Have received some reports from in and around the interior of Cape Breton and some of the highland areas of some snowfall totals in the range of around 15 to 20 centimeters. A snow squall watch continues for Richmond County, southern Inverness County, and Cape Breton County. The situation, though, for that part of Cape Breton is expected to improve as we make our way through this evening. I'll have more on the forecast coming up a little bit later on. Katie.
Thank you, Caitlin. We'll see you soon. Well, it's a local twist on a holiday classic. As CTV's Mike Lamb shows us, staff at the Tri-County Regional Center for Education in Yarmouth are spreading Christmas cheer with their own version of Christmas in Hollis.
I've been making Christmas videos with schools. Like, I work at the regional center now, but like before I worked at another school. So every year we'd get together as a staff and do that. And I've been kind of pushing more schools to do more Christmas videos. It's a good way to bring staff together and to spread some holiday spirit. And so this year I said, I think this is the perfect time to try it here at the regional office, which is a big undertaking because there's a lot of different staff on different schedules and things. So everybody was willing to come and give a few minutes to record their lines.
Fine, this picked up the paper, and then it took a pause. Procurement saw the head and said, wait, get Santa Claus?
Christmas Time in Hollis is an awesome song. I had to sign up first, and then I had all the people's roles and departments, and then I had to write the parody of the song to match up with all those roles. There's a lot of different people, so I'm like, everybody ends up with like 4 seconds, but I try to represent, you know, everybody from each kind of area that is out there supporting their schools and their students. It was a lot of fun. There's lots of laughter. It's a good team building kind of experience. Everybody's kind of making a fool of themselves a little bit, so it gets people laughing and having a nice time. At Regional Center, we kind of have that spirit too, and we're having fun with everybody else. And I want to get more schools out there, so showing off some of the things or some ideas you can do. So just a nice way to engage with the community and have some fun.
That is awesome. And yes, if more schools do it, we want to see them, so send them our way. We're going to take a short break here on CTV News at 5. Coming up next, Star's famous shortbreads. And we also have this story.
Hi, I'm Mike, and this is Corinne, and we wrote a book called Bored Santa and Narwhali the Wise.
We'll tell you all about it coming up soon.
Thanks to your tremendous generosity, thousands of Maritime children will once again have a happy Christmas. Please honor your pledge for the Christmas Daddies Telethon in person, online, or you can always send us a check. Merry Christmas and thank you from all of us at Christmas Daddies.
Welcome back. Now, if you've been an avid viewer of this show, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Star's whipped shortbread cookies. It's a holiday tradition she started decades ago that is still making a real impact today.
And I'm Star Dobson. Thanks for joining us.
As a familiar longtime host of Live at 5, Star Cunningham is a familiar face to Maritimers.
Butter, shortening, icing sugar, vanilla, cornstarch, and half a cherry on top.
But she may be just as well known for these cookies.
So it was at least 20 years ago, if not 25 years ago, that I made my whipped shortbreads on Live at 5 for the first time. And afterwards, we had so many requests for the recipe that we were just overwhelmed. We were printing it off and sending it by snail mail.
Her recipe was an instant hit.
And people loved it because it was simple to make, they taste delicious, and they felt like they had a little piece of Live at 5 in their kitchen for Christmas.
Years later, Star took the shortbreads somewhere new.
So when I started with the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia, we hosted a holiday luncheon. And at the luncheon, we auctioned off wreaths and cakes. And at the time, I thought, my cookies might work in this case. So I whipped up a batch and put them out. And I think the first time we auctioned them off, they went for $85.
That was just the beginning of another chapter.
One of our guests in the room at the Holiday Black Tie Gala paid $10,000 for the cookies. And when he came over to my table, he said, they better be good cookies. I said, they're the best cookies.
And to date?
My cookies have raised $26,983 for the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia.
What started as a festive holiday treat has become something much sweeter.
I think it's really cool that what started as a recipe on Live at 5 all those years ago has grown into something that's supporting the mental health of Nova Scotians, not just at Christmas time, but all year round. It's really quite remarkable. I'd like to say happy holidays to everyone who used to watch Live at 5 and continues to watch CTV News at 5 today. Maria, Katie, the whole gang, Todd, you're doing a great job. Happy holidays, everyone.
Oh, and happy holidays to you, Star.
Absolutely. We got to get cooking.
I know.
Baking.
I love that you said Get Cooking, though, because I'm pretty sure she used to host a segment called Get Cooking back in the day.
Really?
But I just want to say, I know you're all going to be like, we need the recipe. The recipe is on our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. You can go there and you can get the recipe for Star's shortbreads. $27,000 cookies.
Incredible number. Yeah.
Wow. So cool. We love Star.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. All right, let's take a look at what's going on around the region for today. It was a cold one out there if you were in the wind. Not a great one for walking in around the Riverfront Trail in Riverview, New Brunswick. At least if you're doing that, you would want to have been bundled up. I'm going to have more in the forecast coming up next.
Welcome back, Kaylin. I just have to shout out your wife, Jill, who made cookies for me today because I'm craving cookies now after watching Star's story. So please say thank you to Jill for those delicious, amazing, gorgeous cookies.
Of course I will. And how about that timing as well? Just brought them in on the same day you're doing the story on
like
the shortbread cookies.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's take a look at our sunrise and sunset times. Nice view here, Eastern Passage, Nova Scotia. And we're taking advantage, though, of the chairs, probably because of that wind that we can hear going on. It certainly had a bite to it. And we're headed into another bit of a frigid late December night for the Maritimes. Just again, these temperatures that we're experiencing for both at the start of this week and for today are below the averages for early December. And barometric pressure is towards the higher side across much of the Maritimes. That's why we did see the sunshine break through today for a good portion of the region, though it did remain cloudier with flurries for parts of Prince Edward Island and eastern areas of Nova Scotia. That continuing risk of snow squalls into this evening in Cape Breton. So that high pressure system starting to move out of the way. There is a low pressure system following up in behind it. This was a low that last week looked like it was going to be maybe bringing us a fairly widespread snowfall tonight into tomorrow. That no longer looks like it's going to happen. It looks like it's going to hold far enough south and then east of the Maritimes that we avoid most of the snow with it, though it will go on to impact Newfoundland as a winter storm, the first of actually 2 winter storms coming up for Newfoundland over the coming days. Taking a look at things on radar right now, there's the streaks of flurries and snow squalls still coming across areas of Cape Breton. Again, that situation will be improving as we move through this evening and tonight. For other parts of the Maritimes, a little bit of increasing cloudiness tonight from the west as that low pressure system begins to move by. And you can see it is expected to bring snow through the state of Maine, and there is a chance that some lighter snow or flurries tonight and into Wednesday morning might show up around the westernmost communities in New Brunswick and the southwest of Nova Scotia. If there is some light snow or flurries, there's potential for some accumulations, maybe up to around a few centimeters. The rest of the Maritimes on Wednesday, cloudy with sunny breaks and in a bit of a breezy northeast wind. Here's a look at the winds in the forecast for tonight and for tomorrow. So for tonight, become a little bit variable in direction. And then for Wednesday afternoon, out of the northeast, sustained 10 to 20 kilometers per hour with some gusts between 20 and 40. Though some higher gusts possible around the southwestern coastline of Nova Scotia, including around Clark's Harbour. Some of the peak coastal gusts could get up to between 40 and 70 kilometers per hour. And the reason for that is, as the center of that low pressure system moves to the south of Nova Scotia and then off towards the east, it is picking up strength. So that part of the province is a little bit closer to that strengthening weather system, so the wind gusts are expected to pick up a little bit more. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight around the region will be falling down into the minus double digits for most communities, many into a range of around -10 to -18. A few parts of Nova Scotia with some low temperatures around -8, -9, mostly for coastal areas. And highs in the forecast for Wednesday in the province of New Brunswick, mostly between -5 and -10. Around -5 for Charlottetown and Prince Edward Island. And for Nova Scotia for tomorrow, most of the high temperatures between -3 and -5. In the forecast for Thursday, we may have missed out on that low pressure system moving by tonight into tomorrow, but a weaker low comes in on Thursday, bringing some snow and some flurries fairly widespread to the Maritimes throughout the day. There is the possibility of some localized snowfall totals in the southwest of Nova Scotia on Thursday of around 5 to 10 centimeters. Let's take a look at our Weather Watcher for tonight. And tonight's Weather Watcher is coming in from 7-year-old Owen Bailey from Eastern Passage. And Owen has sent us a drawing of his favorite characters from Sprunky celebrating the holidays on a cold winter day. Weather Watchers can come in to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Katie.
Thank you, Kaylin. Now to a story that could almost pass as a Hallmark movie. As CTV's Mike Lamb shows us, a local couple have written a book proving that it's never too late for a new chapter.
He was reminded, Christmas is within you. I am Mike McQueen.
And I'm Corinne Brown.
And we wrote a book. It's called Bored Santa and Narwhali the Wise. Kind of starts off right as the last gift has been delivered and Santa's heading back to the North Pole, and he suddenly becomes overwhelmed with a sense of existential dread. So he realizes he has nothing to do until next Christmas, and he has to go visit his wise friend Narwhali to get some perspective.
A really beautiful message about, you know, self-love and perspective on, you know, having a bigger perspective on life.
Finding the silver linings in all of the little things that make you who you are.
We were junior high sweethearts, high school sweethearts, and then we went our separate ways, but always stayed in touch, and then reconnected 2 years ago at Christmas, which was a really kind of a special addition to all of everything that we're doing. When we dated when we were younger, I would always beg Mike to draw me cartoons. He was a very gifted cartoonist. Then eventually he stopped drawing the cartoons. I was kind of saying, like, you got to get back to drawing.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what are you going to draw? And he's like, well, I've always liked drawing Santa.
First thought I
Okay, I'm like, great, okay, cool, Santa. So what's Santa doing?
I was just like, oh, probably nothing. He's bored.
That's the best idea ever, because the whole premise is what happens with Santa between Christmases. But we have actually seen firsthand how this book has brought joy to people who are having a more difficult time over the Christmas holiday. The book has brought perspective to them. It's been touching to receive all the positive feedback. It's really been overwhelming.
It kind of sums up that there's a lot more to Christmas than just the gifts. It's friends, family, spending time together.
Exactly.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, you too. All right, we're going to take one more break. Coming up next, keep your eyes peeled for this guy.
I'm Derek Haggett in Riverview, New Brunswick. Coming up on CTV News at 5, you're going to meet the Gnome on the Roam. I'm going to tell you all about his fantastic adventures around town, and what it means to the people here, and the people who are behind the Gnome on the Roam. We'll tell you why they're doing this. That story is coming up.
If you're from the Riverview, New Brunswick area, you may recognize this character. As CTV's Derek Haggett explains, it's about a 2.5-foot Christmas tree that's been making the rounds and posing for photos with just about everyone.
It's a bit like the elf on the shelf. You never know what it's up to or where it will appear next.
It was almost like a challenge. It was like, what can we do next to try to make the gnome famous?
Riverview's Gnome on the Roam has become a social media sensation. Neighbors Liz McLaughlin and Fred Sears have been dragging the tiny Christmas tree around town and posting his pics on a community Facebook page.
And I just started going all over Riverview, getting messages from different businesses. Can you bring the gnome here? Can you take the gnome here? And it all kind of blew up.
It started with an innocent prank when McLaughlin snatched the gnome right off of Sears' front steps.
I got tired of, elf on the shelf. So I decided Gnome needed a new home, and I decided it was time to take him.
Instant fame for the gnome and something fun for old friends. But there's another reason why they're doing it. McLaughlin's brother Ken, seen here in the brown cap, died in June, and the gnome's adventures have helped them cope.
I've known Fred for over 50 years, and he was like a brother to my brother. And then when this started, it kept us busy the last couple weeks, and then we're like, people like this, and it made us feel really good.
As for the future of the gnome, that's up in the air.
So we're hoping, with the spirit of Christmas, that the gnome will be returned permanently back to Fred's place. It'll be like a Christmas miracle.
Somebody suggested we should run him through a wood chipper. I'm against that. I'm thinking I'm going to take him on the side-by-side and set him free with all his relatives out in Albert County.
If you want to see the Gnome on the Roam for yourself and maybe get a picture taken with him, my sources are telling me that he might be here down on the riverfront enjoying the Christmas lights tonight. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Riverview, New Brunswick.
You can
so
trust
cute.
Derek's sources.
I bet you could. Well, Caitlin, happy holidays.
Yes, so I'm here tomorrow.
Yes.
Katie's not.
Yes, there's
So
no
Merry
5 show
Christmas.
tomorrow. Yes, Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays. Hope you have a great one. All my best to Josh as well.
Thank
And I'm
you.
going to be back at 6 as well with an update on the holiday forecast.
Excellent. Same to you in Jail and Locke, and we'll see you on Monday back here on CTV News at 5.